What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got Rand Paul back in the action, guys. I know we just seen him a couple weeks back with the clip coming out. Couldn't say who he is going to vote for in the 2024 elections, but he definitely said who he was not going to vote for and who he couldn't vote for, and that would be Joe Biden, guys. We got Rand Paul back at it again with some more details on what's going on with Joe Biden, also exposing Nikki Haley a bit, guys. So I'm excited to get into this clip and see what's going on with Nikki Haley and Joe Biden. So we get straight to the clip, and I'll get my thoughts on the back end of the video, guys. So definitely stick around until the end so you guys can get my thoughts on the back end, guys. And also, YouTube, push this video out. Definitely stick around until the end. But yo, let's get straight into it, you guys. Before we do that, though, make sure you guys smash that like button, guys, and also hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. Let's get into it, y'all.
Makes announcements that are going to influence this election in a number of ways. He's dive bombing Nikki Haley because no one wants to touch the entitlements and we're going to go insolvent. But the biggest one is our foreign spending, including how Biden intends to spend it on the border. Welcome to Doug in Exile. Let's go to Rand Paul.
You know, I think Biden's actions speak louder than words. The Biden administration, as we speak, are down there cutting the barriers. They're cutting the barbed wire, the razor wire. They're removing the cargo containers that are blocking the border. So all of the things that are trying to stop people from coming in, the Biden administration is removing. So I think that sort of gives the lie to the negotiations that somehow legislation will allow them to do something about the border. The president has the power under current law to stop this if he wants, but the president would have to have the willpower, and this president doesn't have the willpower. In fact, this president is doing the opposite, trying to make it easier for people to come across. So I don't suspect it's going to get better.
So this is the biggest way that he completely demolishes the Biden administration, and this does affect the election. Biden's going to lose this election on the border. Trump has to run on it and run on it hard and run it into the ground.
Yeah, and realize the bill is going to have more money for sanctuary cities. So the cities that don't turn anybody in, you can rape, murder, pillage in some of these sanctuary cities, and if you're illegally here, they don't do anything about you. You just fade back into the woodwork.
But the other big picture is, why are we spending all of our money all around the world? This comes with a slight caveat because Rand Paul expresses sadness about people who live in other countries, right? They need money. But at some point, you have to cut them off. You have to take care of your own citizens. It's not our job to do that. So I disagree with him on the compassion side.
But I don't think we should always have to pay for everything. When do we become the sugar daddy of the world? We got to pay for everything.
We lose our strength as we spread our resources too far out around the world. Meanwhile, we're hemorrhaging and losing liberties at home, even liberties like free speech.
Is that we think less intervention. We should have a strong national defense to respond when attacked. And so the Houthis, I would respond with strength because we've been attacked by them. We can't allow international shipping or our ships to be attacked. We should respond with strength.
He is a hawk on military when it comes to fighting back against the Houthis. He's not that much of an isolationist, which I think separates him from a lot of libertarians.
But while I have you, Senator, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley vowing to stay in the presidential race even after losing to former President Donald Trump in the New Hampshire primary on Tuesday.
Most Americans do not want a rematch between Biden and Trump.
But I think it's not getting through to the former ambassador. So I'm considering today changing it from never Nikki to never ever Nikki, because I think it needs to be a little more explicit.
And she has to get out. And she's everything wrong with the finances. I agree with him saying, like, she might be a nice lady and everything. This isn't personal. This is about your politics are a disaster. And she needs to get out.
To see how big the problem is, realize that the tax revenue that comes into the federal government is spent on entitlements. Everything else is borrowed. So entitlements are Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, food stamps, and a few other items that go on and on and on. That's 2/3 of our spending. That's how much comes in taxes, just enough for that. And this is my gripe with some Republicans as well. The people say, oh, we're going to take entitlements off the table, and some Republicans have been snipping back at it forth each other in the presidential campaign. Without question, you have to look at entitlements. If you don't, you're not a serious person. And before you know it, we're going to be so far behind the 8 ball that we will not be able to escape this without a calamity. The sooner we act on entitlements, the easier the glide path to fixing them.
Now, this is the biggest thing I want you guys to weigh in on, because I have a ton of people in retirement in my audience. In the comments below, would you ever lower your personal entitlement to reduce the debt? Because Rand Paul has conducted that survey. I've seen him do it before for the last 20 something years. And no Republican or conservative would ever raise their hand to take less of an entitlement to pay down the debt. And that's the problem. That's why it's a losing issue. You cannot be a Republican or Democrat and run on cutting entitlements and still win an election because it's so unpopular. Everyone goes like, look, I paid into the system. Do not cut my entitlements.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Coming from our friend Doug in Exile. Definitely going to be sure to leave that original video link down in the description box below for those of you want to go over there and check that out. Also, for you guys to go over there and show our guy Doug some love. Rand Paul back in the action, guys, saying what needs to be said about the Biden administration, about Nikki Haley, letting us know, Biden needs to focus on America policies, focus on that southern border. Rand Paul exposing what's going on down at that southern border with the Biden administration, Biden removing those cargo barriers, cutting down the barbed wire. I don't understand, why we're regressing. We should be progressing on this situation, if anything. We've seen how it's affected our country negatively. It's been a huge impact over this past year. I'm not sure when the Biden administration is going to wake up and actually realize how bad they're hurting our country. The shockwave on our country, stemming from this mass wave of illegal immigration, guys, could affect our country for potentially, ages to come, especially with the way that they have, been unfiltered. There is no selection process. It's just, a free for all as to who could come in, come over, and do what they please with our country, whether that be, destroy it, cause harm to others. They're literally letting these people get free rides. And it's because of the Biden administration. All signs are pointing towards some type of ties. There's definitely some ties between Biden and, people across the border as to why there is, not some type of security being put in place. There is no sense of urgency for security down at that southern border. So there's got to be more to it, guys. Have you guys seen that clip of Kari Lake getting bribed to drop out of that race, that Senate race in Arizona, guys? We heard where they said, there is a deal, the cartel is running in all 50 states. So this may be a reason why we're seeing, the southern border being kind of pushed aside or, put on the back burner for the Biden administration, because we know how much Biden likes to, enrich his family and bring more wealth to his pockets. So if it's going to bring him a buck, he's going to, he's going to jump in. He's going to buy in instantly. So I could see why there's, no urgency and also lots of regression, like them cutting that barbed wire. There's no reason you should be cutting that barbed wire. This is, enabling them to be able to come over easier, moving, those shipping crates that were hard to, climb over, get families over. I don't understand, what the thought process is right there. What is the thought process? How is this going to benefit our country and stop people from coming over further? Always love to hear from Rand Paul, kind of speaking the truth on the Biden administration, and also, doubling down on that stance. Never Nikki, guys, never Nikki Haley. Then he actually goes on to say that it's going to be never, ever Nikki Haley, to clarify the whole situation, because maybe she's not getting it. She will not drop out of that race. Rand Paul is sitting there like, I don't know what bigger clue or what bigger hint I have to give to Nikki Haley, but she should go ahead and throw in the towel, guys. Nikki Haley is living this delusional state. Her establishment background's got her thinking that, people will actually vote for her as the challenger over Donald Trump because they don't want to see a rematch of Joe Biden and Donald Trump. I just don't see that ever being the case. And Nikki Haley is in a fantasy world if she really believes that. Yo, definitely hop in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. Rand Paul, exposing the Biden administration for being a sugar daddy to all these foreign nations, guys, and, trying to enrich his family even further. And then doubling down on the never Nikki, never ever Nikki Haley statement that he made a couple weeks back, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section, let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys smash that like button, guys. It does not cost a thing. Hit that like button for your boy, and also hit that subscribe button, guys. We're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for that journey. I'll catch you guys on the next one.